Hey guys, I just wanted to jump on to make sure that I addressed this question completely, a little bit more completely. I got up this morning. It was sort of something that was on my mind because someone asked some questions yesterday about bodybuilding, about protein, um, about macronutrition, about macro balancing. That's what bodybuilders do. They do macronutrition balancing. I used to do this. I used to teach this. I taught this for many years. Um, I helped to, bring this into like modern day fashion and current understanding because all of us bodybuilders did like around the end of the 90s, the first 10 years of the 2000s. That this is all we were doing, talking about protein and blood sugar and insulin and body fat burning. And that this is what everyone in the world talks about now because of the bodybuilders in the 90s and the early 2000s. They're kind of put that information out. That information was put out to us bodybuilders. We used to use it to share with our customers. We used to work in the gyms. We used to speak with all the people. That's how the information got out. It kind of came out through bodybuilding, and it's kind of at the root and the core of bodybuilding, and it's trapping everyone that's in bodybuilding stuck in a way of thinking that's really holding them back, and it's really destroying their health. Like it's creating aches and pains in their body, and it's actually cr creating body fat on the body ultimately, eventually. Like they think that it's making them leaner and stronger because it's speeding up their metabolism because they're gaining more muscle because they're eating more protein. This is what they think. This is how the bodybuilders think. This is how they've been taught to think, but this is how the whole world thinks. It's like at the root of the nutrition program of the world is that we need to speed up the metabolism. We do this by putting on more muscle, and we gain more muscle by eating more flesh or eating more muscle. That's how we get it from the carbs, from the protein and the fats that we eat. We get the calories. The calories give us energy, the energy we take to the gym to push ourselves to make our muscles break down, and then we eat the protein and then make the muscles grow bigger, and this makes the metabolism burn faster so that we can eat more food again. Like it's just like an eating circle. Can you see that? It's just like eat more, consume more, like eat more, like go get more, like get more vitamins, minerals, fat burners, or steroids or protein powders or whatever else. Like get more stuff in you. Like you're missing stuff. Like you need to get more stuff. Like that's how it works. Like you go to anywhere in society, you go to the naturopath, they're going to tell you what you're missing. You go to the doctor, they give you medications. You go to this person, they give you this that you're missing. It's always something that you're missing that you need to get, that you need to get, that you need to get. Really, it's just about selling. It's just about selling more stuff, selling more food, selling more different types of foods. Like you need to get all of these things into your body. This is the idea of macronutrient nutrition: calories, proteins, carbs, fats. I didn't talk much about it yesterday because I could spend like a whole day talking about this stuff, and you can get stuck in it, and it's really just holding you back. But at some point we need to kind of break this stuff down because it's holding us, everyone, back. Everyone that's into, eating, which the whole planet is, has learned these ideas, and we're all stuck in these ideas. And it comes from this idea of macronutrition, and it's proteins, carbs, and fats. It's the caloric portion of our nutrition. And there is another part of the nutrition, and this is the part of the nutrition that Amy and I are more focused on. This is the micronutrition. This is the part of the nutrition that we need to focus on. So, micronutrition, um, now we call micronutrition, like I took this image down off of the internet. micronutrition. I'll see if I can sort of get a little closer in on that actually for you on this chart. Maybe I'm not able to. Oh, yes, I can. Okay, you know, let me shrink it down a little bit. You see the micronutrition now it's called the vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals. But I tell you, when I went to university, we didn't have these phytochemicals. Like that's a new thing that's been defined and clearly um, explained now. Phytochemicals. So that and phytonutrients. That's what's in fruits and vegetables. It's elements of fruits and vegetables. So, you know, an important distinction to add micronutrition. Awesome. But before it used to be vitamins, minerals, and water. And I don't want you to lose the water aspect of this. Like water is a part of our nutrition, and it's now been taken out of our nutrition plan program. Water needs to go back in. It needs to be a part of it again. Like don't lose track of the thought that water and rehydration is a humongous part of this. It's being removed. Like understand what's going on. Things are happening to make it even more impossible to get yourself out of the trap that we're in. Like changes are always being made to the program. Macronutrition versus micronutrition. Macronutrition is the proteins, the carbs, and the fats, or the caloric part of your nutrition. And the micronutrition is the vitamins, the minerals, and the phytochemicals. See this. That what we're talking about with the raw food switch, getting into raw food nutrition, is we're making a switch from the caloric portion of your nutrition to the minute, the molecular part of your nutrition, not the calories, but the electrons, the vitamins, the minerals, and the phytochemicals, the small, idiot little bits of your nutrition, the water, the rehydration, and the building blocks. This is what the body's built of: vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals, not proteins, carbs, and fats. But all that you hear about is the proteins, carbs, and fats. Like there's something wrong. Okay, you have to see that there's something wrong. It's at the root of what's wrong with our health. It's what we've been told to eat and what we're supposed to eat. That's why we're unhealthy. That's why every single disease is up. That's why obesity is up. That's why mental health is down. That's why addictions are up. That's why suicide is up. That's why marriages are failing, families are breaking down, stress is all-time high. It's all linked to this. It's inflammation in the body, it's inflammation in the world. It's a miseducation, it's a mistake. There's a mistake going on here. The protein myth, we were talking some ideas yesterday about the raw food lifestyle. And if you start going out and talking to people about, every single person is going to say this to you: where do you get your protein? Where do you get your protein? Like everyone's been brainwashed by the protein for the last 25 years. Since the end of the 90s, we've been talking about this protein, glucose, insulin circle. They've been playing it over and over again. So you've heard it 7 times over. So it's reprogrammed into your mind. They've programmed an idea into your mind that stops you from ever leaving the trap that you're in. We've been addicted to food, and it's because of the ideas that we've been given, and we can't even think of an idea out of it. There's no idea out of it because they've even removed the water from the micronutrition. Like the educational system doesn't even include the water in your nutrition, but they're all going to include the protein because it's the most important element of nutrition. This is what, or so we're told, but it's not. But this is what we're told. But this idea sort of sells more food. It sells more protein. It sells more factory farming. It supports factory farming. And this is it. Like factory farming is is an insidious problem. It's a hidden insidious problem that, we're eating this emotions of the animals. We need to get away from factory farming. And I'm not saying that you have to eliminate meat. I'm not saying you have to eliminate anything. But if we could see the world go to half meat, this would be a wonderful thing. If we could get rid of factory farming or cut it down, this would be a wonderful thing. If we could kind of declutter the factory farms, that there was less animals stuck on top of each other, there'd be less disease. There would be less terrible emotion and anxiety and stress inside of our food. We need to kind of get away from this thought process. We're trapped in it. We're addicted to it and we're trapped in it. And if you try to speak to an addict about anything, they'll defend it. And that's the same thing that's happened to the bodybuilders and to basically the general population with regards to protein. And if you start to tell them about, going into raw foods and making a change, everyone's going to stop you with, where do you get your protein? And you're not going to be able to answer the question because you actually have to have a PhD in order to understand how to answer that question because it's such a big question. Like you have to spend 30 minutes to an hour to explain it and probably have to go dig out your research books again to explain it to somebody because that's how big a question that is. So sorry that I didn't get a chance to address it yesterday, and I wanted to make sure that I jump on today and sort of talk about it in a much more detailed way and kind of talk about it from a couple of different angles so you can understand the depth and magnitude of it. Now, just break down that argument by the bodybuilder. You know, the bodybuilder will say, I eat really clean, I eat really well, I eat grass-fed cows, and I eat vegetables, and I eat low glycemic carbs, I eat low sugars, and I don't eat gluten, and I don't eat bread, and like this is what's good. It's like it's lean. I eat lean. I eat low fat. This is it. I eat low fat. I eat low sugars. Sugars are carbohydrates. Like this is all macronutrition. This is all you're talking about. I eat good as compared to what everyone thinks and says and does about macronutrition, but we're talking about micronutrition. So, on the level of micronutrition, then you don't eat good. This is the thing. Like coming from the bodybuilding thought process that you eat good to the raw food process, it's a change of nutrition. It's not about macros, it's about electrons. It's about atomic energy. We're talking about the energy of the atom. Like just consider the atom for a second. The atom is an electron spinning around a proton. The electron is attracted to the proton and then it falls over top of the proton and then it's attracted to it again and then it falls over top. This is magnetism. The electron is magnetically pulled toward it. This is current. This is electricity and magnetism. The electricity of the light of the sun, and the powerful pull of the poles of the earth, the magnetism of the mother. We need to be pulled forward by the program. The program needs to pull you forward. It's the only way that it's going to work for you is if you start to get natural. That's electromagnetic. That's electric and magnetic. And that is the power of the electron. Electrons spin around the proton forever. They never slow down. They never get tired, and they never eat. This is like we're talking about a different type of energy. This is not a caloric energy. This is an atomic energy or an electron energy, an electromagnetic energy. It's different. Now, if you want to break down that bodybuilding argument, if you want to break it down, like the bodybuilders are going to tell you that the grass-fed cow is the best source of protein. What does the grass-fed cow eat? The grass-fed cow eats grass. Like, understand that. Like, the best source of protein is built on grass. So, how do you build the best source of protein from grass? Right. See the logic, see the mislogic. They're going to try to tell you it's because the cow has a whole bunch of different stomachs, and that's the reason why. It's not this. No, this is just an explanation that they make. Understand that in the cow, there is fat in the milk of the cow. There's elements in the fat, in the milk, in the cow. The cow makes this milk, this fat, and it makes it from a nutrition that doesn't contain any fat. So there's things in the cow that don't come from the food. We are what we eat. That's what we say. But is that really the truth anyway? Like, this is what we say. Like, we are what we eat. So this is how we justify eating a whole bunch of different things because we want to get all of these like nutrients from all these different things so that we can build ourselves fully and completely from so many different things. That's how we think. That's the logic. It creates a logical argument for eating everything. That's what they want us to think so that we can eat everything. That's how they want the human eating everything. That's how they want us. Everything in the life is built around food. Do you know why? Because they want to sell more food. It's the sell, it's consumerism. It's all about the dollars and the cents. This is economic, socioeconomic. This is a money thing. You just got to follow the money to see what's at the root of this whole thing. We aren't really what we eat. There's lots of things in us that we don't. Well, the human's a bad example because the human eats all sorts of garbage. But look at all the other animals that other examples in nature. For example, a tree. I tell you, there was a study that was done. I wish I could pull up the study for you right now. I wasn't able to pull it up this morning. I already spent some time looking for it, but I will get it and I'll pull it up and I'll talk about it another time. But there was a study done where they put a tree in a bathtub and they grew the tree for some years and the tree grew large. And then they measured the soil and they measured the weight of the tree and they measured the soil and they saw that there was no reduction in the elements or the amount of soil, but the tree grew. How did the tree grow out of the soil, but the soil still has all of the same weight that it had some years before? Like if the tree grows, how is the tree growing if it's not pulling its elements or its nourishment from the soil? This is it. It's that there's lots of examples in nature where the nature grows, but its nourishment or its food is not in it, or it has other things in its growth that are not in its food. We are not what we eat. We are something more than what we eat. We are life. We are force. You can't explain that. There's no explanation for it. Like they try to pretend like they have an explanation for these things. They don't have an explanation. There is no explanation. We can't explain life. Okay? We can only talk about parts of it. We can track breath all the way into the lungs to the right to the lung cells that absorb the air, but then it goes into the lung cells and we can't track it anymore. We don't know what happens beyond how it takes oxygen and makes it into life. But, you know, we try to have theories about things, but there's no explanation for life. When a tree grows 100 years in the forest and it grows so large and so huge, you don't see a hole in the ground where the tree has grown to be this humongous redwood tree. It didn't pull all of the elements out of the ground. There's not a hole in the ground to make this tree so huge. There's elements in the tree that are not in the ground. How is that? That's the mystery of life. Like, don't lose the mystery in all of the theory and jargon that we're tried to be told. Look at the koala bear. He eats the eucalyptus tree. He eats the eucalyptus leaf. Look at all of the beauty of a koala bear. Is it all in the eucalyptus leaf? Is there more in the koala bear than there is in the eucalyptus leaf? How is it you are what you eat? Look at the giraffe. The giraffe only eats the tree from the acacia tree. Look at the majesty of the giraffe. Is it more majestic than the acacia leaf? Is there more in the giraffe than there is in its food? Yes, life does that. It's a mystery of life. Don't get caught up in flesh. You have to eat flesh to become flesh, to make more flesh. It's not this way. If I want to get bigger, I'm just going to push myself more and harder, and I'm going to get bigger and I'm going to have faster metabolism. And I'll just reduce my body fat that way. It doesn't work. See, once you're beyond 40 and 50, your body fat's not going down. Why? I tell you, it's not because you're getting older, it's because you're getting toxic from too much protein and acids in your body. That's why your body fat won't go down. You don't have pain in your body, but you have this pain like I can't get as lean as I want to. I want to have more energy. I want to have less foggy head. I want to have less mood problems. I want to have less addictions to caffeine. I want to look and feel better. And you will. But you have to leave these ideas that are holding you back and the people that are pulling you back into it. You have to sort of turn your mind a little bit away from what you've learned and what you've known. Like I tell you, only animals that eat garbage eat so many different things. The the most animals in nature, they eat one, two, three things. That's it. They don't eat everything. Only the junk animal eats everything. Only the bears, when they come to the garbage dump and they eat at the garbage dump, then now they get addicted to the junk, and then now they eat everything that's junk. Only the seagulls, when you feed the seagulls French fries, they eat French fries, and all they want is just to sit at the garbage till and just eat garbage and eat your food scraps because they've eaten garbage. That's what happens. That's what happened to the human. He ate garbage and now he defends his garbage. That's how it goes. You know, if you talk to a heroin addict, they'll defend their heroin. If you talk to a cigarette addict, they'll defend their cigarette. If you talk to a protein addict, they'll defend their protein. That's nature. That's how it is. That's how we all are. That's how all bodybuilders are going to be. That's the bodybuilding mindset. That's the human nutrition understanding mindset. You're going to have to get out of it if you want to sort of get healthy again. It's not the same old mindset that's going to get you healthy. The same old mindset's going to get you more of what you got. Just look at the teeth of the human versus the carnivore. Look what types of teeth the human mostly emanates or looks like. The human teeth look like the primate teeth. The primate is mostly a fruit eating being. The human might likely be a fruit eating being as well too, or lean that way, or move in that direction. Obviously, we don't have the teeth of a carnivore like a lion. We don't have the teeth of an omnivore like a bear. We don't have the teeth of a herbivore like a horse. No, we have the teeth more like a primate. Like, just see the truth there. Okay, stop defending what you've learned and known. You have to sort of open yourself up to something unknown. It's like, in order for me to make this switch in my life, I had to sort of take a foot in that direction. Like, I was filled with pain in my body, aches and pains in my body. I was gaining weight in my body fat wasn't coming down as much as it used to. I couldn't sleep properly. I was having digestive problems and elimination problems. I was starting to have problems. I was having addictions. I was having anxiety and stress. I was taking sleep medication. I was taking anti-inflammatories because I had pain in my body. Like, I needed to make a change. And then when I started into this change, I started to see and feel a change inside of my body. So then I started to go more in that direction. So it's like you have to kind of seek it to find it. As I went in that way, I found more books, I found more information, I read more things, I met more people, more things kind of came to me, more information, and I grew and I grew and I grew in that way. And I let go of the old ideas. I came away from them, not overnight, but through the practice, I sort of went that way. It sort of happened over time. So it's not an overnight fix. It's not a solution that I can give to you, but it's something that sort of comes kind of from the experience, or sort of moving in the direction of it. Now, to get down to the nutrition science, let's just break it down for a second. Protein. Here's an example of a protein. Here's a big chain of protein. This is what a protein is. It's a chain. It's a chain. And if you look at the itty bits of the chain, it's amino acids, different types of amino acids: alanine, arginine, leucine, lysine, glutamic acid, glutamine, different types of amino acids. There's different types of amino acids grouped together into a chain. This makes a protein. When we eat it in a protein, we have to break it down into individual bits to get the amino acids. But if you eat it in an apple, you get the amino acids without the protein. But if you look at the apple, it'll say there's no protein in it. And you think, oh, I can't eat the apple because it doesn't have any protein. But it has all the amino acids in it. All of the amino acids are in your fruits and your vegetables. Okay. So your protein, you don't need to get more protein to build more muscle, just like the koala bear doesn't have to eat muscle to build muscle, or the giraffe to eat muscle to build muscle, or the cow to eat muscle to build muscle. You don't either. Just like the tree that builds itself from the ground, but it doesn't actually get it from the ground. It just builds. Like, that's what life does. It grows. Life begets life. That's how it goes. It doesn't come the way that we've been taught that it does, but we think that it does. And because we think that, we get stuck in that thought process. And that way of eating and living, that lifestyle, becomes us. And then we get sick. To get unsick, you have to get away from that lifestyle. If you look at the amino acid, like, here's an amino acid, the top of the amino acid, the bottom, the R, that's the side chain. Every single type of amino acid has a different side chain. Arginine, alanine, leucine, different side chains, but they all have the same top carboxyl group, amino group. Look at the structure of an amino acid. Like, really take a look at it. What's it made up of? These are the atoms that are making up the amino acid. The amino acid is made up of a carbon, an oxygen, hydrogen, and a nitrogen, and a side chain. It's made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. That's what amino acids are made up of. Okay, now look at what glucose and fructose are made up of. Glucose is vegetable sugar, fructose is fruit sugar. Like, we think one's good and one's bad. It's not that. The good and bad idea, like, you just got to throw this away. It's not. On the seventh day, he looked back at his creation and he said it was all good. Like, it's all good. Okay. It's not fructose or glucose, one good, one bad. It's not vegetables and meat that you're supposed to eat. Look at the difference between fructose and glucose. There's barely a difference. There's one little difference. It's what? A different OH bond, a different oxygen and hydrogen bond. That's what makes it bad. Does that make sense? Use your logic for a second. What is glucose and fructose made up of? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. What's the amino acid made of? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and one other thing, nitrogen. That's what's in the amino acid that's not in the sugars that are so bad. Nitrogen is what makes the difference. What's in the amino acid anyways? Carbon. Where do you get it? Carbon, carbohydrate. Fruit, carbon. Anything alive has got carbon in it. Anything alive's got carbon in it. All living things have a carbon structure. Carbon is the fruit. Oh, oxygen. Oxygen's in the air. Oxygen's in the water. H2O, hydrogen and oxygen are in the water. Carbon, fruit, oxygen, water, hydrogen, water, hydrogen, light. Hydrogen comes from the sun. The sun is a hydrogen ball. It's a hydrogen reaction. Hydrogen comes from the sun. Sunlight gives you hydrogen. The air gives you oxygen. The fruit gives you carbon. Nitrogen. Nitrogen's the only thing that's missing in the amino acid to create it. You can't get nitrogen in your fruits, but where can you get nitrogen? Oh, oh my gosh. The air that I breathe is 78% nitrogen. You mean every single breath I take provides my body with the oxygen? When I go out into the sunlight, I get the hydrogen. When I take my next breath, I get my nitrogen. And my carbon is in my fruit. So you're saying I could eat and drink water and or just get the water from the fruit? So I could eat fruit and breathe air and I would have everything that I need to build an amino acid in my body? Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you, that there's a completely different way for you to change your life than the story that you've been told. Have yourself a super awesome, terrific day.